Chad the Crappie Kid Kaiser coming to you with another great show. What if I told you I have the information you need to find those crappie in the summertime, by those bridge pillars, underneath those docks, and finding them on those open water brush piles? Well, guess what? I have it for you, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to share all that information with you today. So stay tuned. Don't turn that channel and go get some popcorn and something to drink because you're going to want to watch this here on the Crappie Kid Show.
And welcome to the Crappie Kid Show. Products used by the Crappie Kid. Lose. Feel the difference. Maps, the world's #1 lure. Mossy Oak Fishing. It's an obsession. Ugly Stick by Shakespeare. Crappie Kid Jigs and Rigs. Lawrence, we lead, we find, you win. Real Tree, family, friends in the outdoors. Mr. Crappie High Vis line. All these products are available at the Weewa Wiggle. Enjoy the show, everybody.
Chad the Crappie Kid Kaiser coming to you with another great show. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I'm going to share you some information on how to find some of them crappie this summer. And we're going to get down to crappie fishing, baby. Yeah. All right. So, bridge pillars is my #1 go-to spot when I am fishing for crappie. I like to get out and I like to find a bridge pillars that are somewhere in the 20, 22 foot of water range. You guys got to remember that big giant bridge is a big giant shade for crappie, especially if you have a nice little light current going through there. It kind of keeps the water a little bit cooler than the normal lake. So if your water is consistently moving, and if you got pillars, and if you got big giant shade, you have crappie. So when you find that area, start looking around if you have sonar, maybe for some brush pile, something stacked up, a hump in your radar. You're going to kind of find those crappie, if they are in there on those bridge pillars, they're going to be hovering right about by those bridge pillars over top of that structure, hanging in that area. Spend some time looking around at that bridge. Get down if you can get down and access it by walking it and look and see if there's minnows in that creek. There's a lot of information you can collect before you get in the water to fish those types of areas. I do the same thing. I like to stop, look at a bridge, see the area, scope it out. Is it muddy? Is it clear? What's the water clarity? I start doing my research and I go from there. And then I get in and I start throwing the Crappie Kid lures around, and that's that. So when you get into that bridge area and you find that 20-foot water column and stuff, or you find them and you start fishing them, you got to remember they're going to hang on the shaded side first thing in the morning, and they're going to follow that shade all the way through the day, trying to stay out of the sun. So that's your main object. Find that big bridge, get on that shaded side, start fishing them. Now, before you start fishing them, make sure that you throw up current, not down, because you want that bait to kind of float to them, because they're going to be paying attention to what's going on in front of them. They're going to be looking down. They're going to be trying to get cover away from the stream. They're trying to let that water pass by them. That's going to cool them. So they're going to be facing the current. So you're going to want to bring it right past them. Why? They're looking, because it'll startle them. It'll almost trigger a reaction. I'm seeing it on my live scope. It's a pretty cool tactic if you can do that with the sonar that you have. Now, if you don't, just try to practice that. But really, basically, it's just casting all the way around in all directions, really, to be honest with you. I'm not going to steer you wrong. Just something new and exciting that I try that works for me a lot of the times, and I'm pretty successful with it. So, like I said, it's not easy. I got my itinerary. All right, so my next one is, it's going to go ahead and it's probably going to pop up right here on the screen, is going to be how to identify a good shooting dock. All right, now it necessarily does not have to be a floating dock, as in the picture that's up here in the corner right here. Okay, what you want to look for is that dock, and if you got side scan, all right, great. You can tell if there's crappie stacked up underneath that thing. Check your depth. See, going down from 8 foot to 20 foot, or 8 foot to 16, 17 foot. Find out if there's a weed bed somewhere out there in that deep water, maybe a brush pile, something where those crappie could hold up if they wanted to leave that dock area and go out into the open water, or come back for relief from the sun and get up under and tuck up underneath there and stay in that water. So, that is a really good one, but you're going to find a lot of docks that are not going to, you think are the best. They won't have one crappie underneath them. You got to fish every one that you see. You got to look at them, examine them. If you don't have the sonar, you got to pitch to them, pitch around them, pitch at them, pitch underneath them, get up underneath them. But don't disturb somebody's property. Try to be polite as you possibly can. Yes, nobody owns the water, but that is their property in the water, and try to have respect for their property. If you see them, ask for permission. If you don't see them, be very courteous and fish around their stuff. Don't be banging your rods and your jigs and stuff off their boats and their docks. Just have respect for other people's things. That's all the kid asks you. So go from there, and then when you locate your first couple of crappie, it's going to be very exciting for you. And you're going to you're going to practice your finding the two colors and getting them out from underneath there. But just keep remembering that you are in a learning phase where you're going to, all right, I threw it to them like this. Was it shaded? Was it not? How deep was it? What was the water temperature? Was it cloudy? Was it sunny? You got a lot of things that you have to take in calculation why those fish are reacting to the bite that day like they are. Or you don't do none of that and you just go back day after day, fish after fish, and then just go by the luck. But if you want to be more successful, try to understand and learn those things as you're going along, because it's going to help you as a fisherman develop and become a way better fisherman, especially with the type of jig that I use. And it's very easy and simple. That's the really cool thing. I've never been a jig fisherman, and it's simplified. I just, somebody help me simplify it. It's the greatest thing in the world. So my next one is all right, so you guys are going to be in a situation where you guys are going to have to go out. You're going to want to go out into open water. And this is one of the greatest techniques that I've used. It's been successful. All right, there's two ways to do it. It's vertical jigging. You can do it by a bridge in deep water, or you can do it out in open water. If you find brush piles or logs that are in like 20 foot, 18 feet of water, and you find a patch of them, maybe off of a point in a river, or just right off of a creek bed, or where, this is the hot spot for big fish. It's a hot spot for a lot of fish too. Now, I'm not going to regret saying this, but live bait and adjusting it and fishing them deep, whoo, the way to go. I'm not going to lie. This is all about fishing for crappie and having fun, putting some slabs in the freezer, and also learning how to fish and get these fish when you want them. So the second best way I found is I drop a crappie kid jig on a 132 ounce jig, and I vertical jig, and I use the jerk or a minnow. I don't use anything else. Haven't used a frog, but I've been more successful on the jerk, using the jerk, than the minnow in summertime over top of these conditions. Of course, I'll have the picture up here. You guys can all see it. So You know, I've been successful with the jerk. The jerk is just a very good vertical jigging minnow. It's a very good lure in the water. The minnow has got that more minnowish flair to it. The jerk has got more of that vertical jig to it. And I'm gonna have, I mean, I got one right here. I could show you. I mean, it's just more vertical jigging. All right, there it is on the jig head. It's a V tail. Of course, you're not going to do what I want you to do right now. There we go. Open that tail up. So there it is. And it's got that wiggle. And in the water, that's a dangerous combination. Now, when I'm vertical jigging in that type of situation, I take that number split 7 split shot and I go down about 8 inches, 6 inches from the jig head itself, and I just lightly bump it, just like I'm back home walleye fishing in Michigan. Boom, 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 boom. And electric turkey has been the hottest color on that type of situation. So yeah, it's been paying off, and I don't get very many opportunities in a kayak to go out into open water where it's deep like that. I got one day where I got by one bridge where I'm gonna be sharing that film where I slayed them on vertical jigging, and it was great. It's just too bad my GoPro microphone wouldn't pick up everything because you guys, well, actually, I'm kind of glad it didn't because, yeah. Okay, so, anyways, guys, get out there. It's still summertime. It's almost fall time. We're going to be switching patterns here pretty soon. We're going to be switching into my favorite pattern, and fall time is, man, the results are way different and way better. And this is seek and destroy crappie season for me. And I can't wait, man. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. This was a short show. I had put a lot of work and effort into doing all my videos and stuff, so I kind of wanted to make this one a little bit short because next week on Monday I'm doing my very first live at 7 o'clock. I really would like to see 10 people ask me questions and go live. That would be great. But other than that, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with your friends, family, maybe even your loved ones, and to watch and listen and hear what I have to say. I hope that you're very successful in your fishing and keep your head up and stay patient. Really stay patient. All right, guys. Until the next time, I'm Chad, the Crappie Kid Kaiser. You guys have fun out there, and it's crappie fishing, baby. Yeah. Keep your head up, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Oh, there we go. There we go. Woo, that's a big one. Ooh, that's a big one. Come here, big boy. Come here. Oh, come here, big boy. Ooh, that's a big crop. Wow. Woo, that's a monster. Ho ho. There you go. That's a monster. Yeah. Woo, that's my biggest. Oh, look at you, pretty boy. You're going in the cooler. Woo, you are huge. Oh my God. Look at the size of that. There you go, everybody. That's the summertime crappie. Oh, you are huge. My boy. There we go. There we go. Woo! That's worth it right there. That's 2 sandwiches. Oh, yeah. Whew. There it is right there, everybody. Patience with a little bit of work pays off. Um, 24 minutes into my fishing trip, I've got 2 beautiful crappie in my boat. Uh, Man, I got more than a meal at home. That big boy is shaking and baking in my cooler. Man, wow, that's a nice crappie. That was a nice crappie. All right, back at it, everybody.